Okay, wanted to talk to you a little bit about the healthcare system that's here in St. Kitts. The healthcare system here is really unique. I've never seen it in any other country in the world that I've checked. There are countries in the Caribbean, especially the Eastern Caribbean states, that do have similar type laws dealing with healthcare. Actually, the laws here on healthcare are incredibly better than they are in the U.S. The U.S. has got a real bloated system, and the great thing about healthcare here is it's allotted to everybody the same way. They don't discriminate. The U.S. discriminates. The way they discriminate is they base it on a Medicaid system to see if you qualify for things. In other words, you basically have to be stone broke. They don't look at people who pay in the system and look at their income and stuff, and they say, hey, you don't qualify, you're out, okay? They treat everybody the same, okay? Now, whether you agree with that or not, that's the way I agree, and also the country here agrees also. Now, also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do three things. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And number two is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. Number three is go to our website, again, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically. All right, now, this is the way it works in the system here. Once you're 62 years old, you can qualify for free, pretty much free. There are some things, like I just went in the other day and I had to get an ultrasound in the hospital. It was like $60. That's real rare that you have costs like that. Most everything is free once you go to the hospital there. If you're 62 and you're a citizen, that's the key. Okay, that's why it's good to get citizenship in St. Kitts. Now, the thing I like too is the fact is they also have the same thing for free health care as far as dentistry goes. Once you're 60 years old, not 62, but 60 years old, all of your dental care that can be done in the regular government dental clinics is free. Now, they can do cavities, clean your teeth, things like putting in, crowns and things like this. You're going to have to go on an outside dentist for that. And if you're under those ages, as far as dentistry goes, your dental appointment's going to run you about 80 EC, which is roughly about roughly about 30 US. Okay. So that's what you're looking at that's to get your teeth cleaned, and if you get any cavities, that's extra, but it's a lot less than what you're going to pay in the U.S. Okay. Now, some things that you need to know about the healthcare system here is it's different in that in the U.S. you've got they do have a Social Security system here, but it's not mandatory if you're self-employed. Okay, and if you're an employee, the employers are required by law to have a Social Security on you. But if you're a self-employed person and you don't have any employees, then obviously you do have a choice. They like for you to pay into the system, Social Security, but you're not required to under current law, and that could change. But I'm just telling you for right now, you won't. Now, Antigua does require Social Security when you set up a license to run a company there. That's the big difference between St. Kitts and Antigua as far as the income tax and where any sort of taxes that occurs. So in the U.S. you've got Medicaid, which is basically you have to be indigent to qualify for it, and then you got Medicare, which everybody qualifies about when you hit age 62 years old. I don't keep up with a lot of this stuff in the U.S. anymore. When I was a financial planner, I used to, but it's around 62 that you qualify for Medicare, and then your Part A is the hospital part is free once you qualify for Medicare. And then, of course, the B is the doctor's visits. And you have to pay for that, or either you have to have a Medicare sup that will pick up your deductibles and other stuff that Medicare doesn't pick up. And remember that Medicare is pretty expensive. My dad was paying, 20 years ago, he was paying $300 US a month. And that was after all his other bills were picked up. In other words, that was paying to pick up for the co-insurance part that he wasn't, that wasn't picked up, and then the deductible. So I'll be honest with you, when you come here, if you've got a lot of money built up, you really don't need insurance anyway, health insurance. Okay, I mean, this is that's the great thing about living in a place like this, because insurance costs can be pretty expensive. But if you do get it here, man, it's almost nothing. It's incredibly cheap because you don't have all the lawsuit problems like you do in the U.S. That's the big problem that you have in the U.S. is insurance is so high because people sue on a dime, and doctors are scared to death. They carry the malpractice insurance. You got contingency lawsuits. They don't have that down here. So everything else is lower, a lot lower. Now, if you go in, I'm going to tell you some things that can save you a lot of money. Once you come here, if you come and you're an economic citizen, okay? And also if you're paying in Social Security, because a lot of these things will happen too if you pay in Social Security. A lot of your medical bills, if you do want to set up Social Security here, it will pick up a lot of your bills, okay? A portion or maybe all of it, depending on what it is, okay? Now, it's a little bit different here. See, a lot of places, Social Security doesn't pick up anything, as far as health issues and stuff like that. Here it does. So even if you're a young person, it will pick up a lot of your health issues and stuff that you got. You just have to present that to the doctor when you go in there, or actually the government. Now, so in the U.S., you pay in the system for years, Medicare, and you got of course your FICA that you pay in, and you do this for years and years and years, and then you qualify, around 62, where you can start getting, these health benefits and things like this. Now, the thing about here, you don't have to pay in the system in Social Security, okay? But you do have to be a citizen. You got to be a certain age, and I just gave you those ages. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that can really save you some money. One of them is if you go in to let's say you want a doctor's visit that's free, and you want to see a particular doctor, and you want to do it where there's no cost. Well, there's several ways you can do it. One, you can go see that doctor directly, but if you do that in his office, you're going to have to pay for it. Okay. Now, some of these doctors down here also work for the government, where they'll go to the hospital and they'll actually they will have they'll actually be giving health care at the hospital itself and not their office. Now, the government treats that as a government expense. So if you go, you would have to go to the doctor that is at the government clinics. Go see that person, which is a general practitioner, and then what she does is she will refer you to that particular doctor, that specialist, or whatever it is, at the time that he's at the hospital. Okay. Now, it's free if you go that route. If you go to his office and you go to him directly, and you don't get a referral through a government general practitioner, then you're gonna have to pay for it. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, assuming that you are 62 and above, okay, it will be discounted a lot if you're under 62 if you go this route, but it's not going to be free. Okay, all these things that I'm telling you are free. Is 60 for dental and 62 for medical, and not everything is totally free in the hospital. Okay, but almost everything is. If you go, let me give you an example. You go to the hospital and you want a semi-private or private room. Okay, semi-private is cheaper than a private room, but it's not going to be free. If you go in to one that's not semi-private or private, and and you're 62 or above, that's going to be free. Now, you might say, well, Tom, I ain't going to be in another room with somebody else. I want my privacy. Then fine, you can get that, but you're going to have to pay for it, okay? I'm just telling you, if you want it free and you want to go in there, this is how you do it, okay? Now, and you know the funny thing about this system here that I like so much is they actually have better social programs than the U.S. does. And the thing is, they treat everybody the same. They don't discriminate. This is the thing I like about St. Kitts and Nevis. Both countries are the same way, the same laws on this. There's no discrimination based on your income, net worth. They treat everybody the same. This is why so many libertarians like St. Kitts. No income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. A property tax is like 0.20% of whatever you're purchasing with a $29,000 US dollar exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. How in the hell they do it? Well, number one is they're not in battles every freaking year in wars. Look at this war that the U.S. is in with Ukraine. The U.S. is funding more money towards that than any other country. And it seems like they're always in these wars. And you can agree with it or disagree with it. I'm just telling you, this is why the taxes are so high in the U.S. is these wars just mount up bills tremendously. And you got to remember, most people in the U.S., and you can pull this up on the internet, don't pay income taxes. They don't make enough. They either got too many kids they can take deductions on. When they add up all the expenses, even on middle class people, they end up with almost paying no tax or very little tax at all. It's the top people that are working their butts off. They're saving their money. They're ending up having to flip this huge war bill that the U.S. is doing every year, okay? So you're going to have to decide, do you like a system like St. Kitts has got? If you're a libertarian, man, this is a dream come true, okay? If you like total freedom, I'm talking about freedom, 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 freedom to the most, this is the ultimate you're going to find. You're not going to find it any better. You can stop looking. I've traveled the world, okay? Now, is it perfect here? No, but I can tell you this, the system across the board, both parties have denied wanting the income tax. They threw the income tax option out when the IMF gave them an option of going with the income tax or a VAT. They picked the VAT. Both parties have been in. Neither party has introduced an income tax. They ain't interested in it. They don't want to hear it. It's gone, folks. They're not going to have an income tax here, okay? They're actually talking, I'm hearing talk about they're wanting to take away the VAT. And remember, the VAT only came out when the IMF debt was having to be paid off, and they had to have a way to finance it and to pay that off, and they came up with a VAT. That was the only way the IMF would loan the money, is they had to either come up with an income tax or a VAT, and they picked a VAT. And at first they came out with, they had it on everything. They had it on food, and man, the country went nuts when they put it on the food and drugs. They instantly took it off. This is the difference when you tax everybody the same. Then the politicians hate it and they want that vote again, so they knock the tax right off, okay? Now, the only thing, like food and drugs and stuff, you don't have the VAT, okay? And this is a system I like. They treat everybody the same. This is the way it should be. And I think most people in the U.S., if they knew there was an economic system like St. Kitts, this place would be busting out of the seams. Unless you're a socialist. There are a lot of socialists that love socialism, but you're not going to find it here, okay? It's everything. They're against abortion here. They view babies that are in a woman's stomach the same way as if that baby's out of the vagina. It ain't making a difference. And I've always wondered why it's not murder if you kill a baby in a woman's stomach. Once it gets out, once it's in the baby's, when it's in the baby's stomach, it's free game to kill them. Once they're out, it's called murder. I don't understand the difference on that. I've always wondered. I can't figure the reasoning out for that. But there's been millions of babies that have been murdered through abortion in the U.S. for years. Down here in St. Kitts, it's illegal, okay? And I like other things. It seems like everything that seems to be libertarian is here, okay? They've legalized marijuana as far as cannabis goes. The cannabis industry is going to be booming here. If you take every libertarian's dream and you put it on a piece of paper and you check them off, they're all right here in St. Kitts. Anyway, folks, I'm going to show you the hospital real quick here just to show you what it looks like on the outside. One thing that's nice here about St. Kitts too, if you live here, you can get the hospital really quick because it's close to almost any place. Even if you're on the other end of the island, it's even on the other end of the island, they've got hospitals over on the other end too. And remember, it's only about 50 miles long. But you can go here, and this is the hospital, and they've got it's open 24/7. But this is a great thing about it. It's close to almost any place that you live here. Anyway, folks, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right on your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.